good evening. Good evening to everyone. Today we are going to explore a topic that is becoming increasingly important in our climate change. Yes, especially climate challenges world sustainable waste management after natural disaster. We know that yes, the natural disasters don't just damage lives and infrastructures. They also create massive unplanned surge of waste. This waste is often dangerous, unsegregated, and mixed with debris, that is, uh, sewage, chemicals, and even medical or electronic waste. So, the managing this waste is not just a matter of cleaning up. It's about doing so quickly, safely, and sustainability also, while minimizing further harm to health and the environment. That's where the engineering role is comes in. As future engineers, your role will not just to build but to rebuild smartly, recover resources, reduce pollutions, and design systems that are disaster resistant and community ready. In today's sessions, we will look at what type of waste disaster generate, why managing this waste is so difficult, the role of sustainable engineering strategies and innovations, some real world examples also, and finally, most importantly, how you can contribute as future engineers. Let's begin by understanding why waste management is one of the first and most crucial steps in disaster recovery. Yes. When natural disasters strike, such as earthquake, right, then floods, then cyclones or tsunamis, they don't just cause physical destruction. They also create massive amount of waste in a very short time. This waste include everything from broken building and furnitures to uprooted trees, plastics, electronics, and even biomedical or chemical wastage also. The natural disasters generate huge volume of waste. For example, the year of 2015, the Nepal earthquake produced over 3.5 million tons of debris in just a few days. In Kerala floods 2018, over 20,000 tons of waste was generated, much of it contaminated. So this waste can overwhelm regular municipal systems. The road may be blocked with debris, and usual garbage collections may stop working completely. The second one is improper waste handling leads to health hazards also. When disaster waste is not managed properly, it can lead to spread of diseases due to uh, rotting organic materials, the mosquito breeding in stagnant water, then toxic exposure from chemical or e-waste, fire due to improper storage of flammable debris. So lot of things is happen. Another thing is the engineers can design sustainable system for rapid response. This is where engineers play a critical role here, designing a temporary wastage sorting and processing stations, planning emerging waste collections, using smart routing and mapping tools like GIS, yes, Geographic Information System. This technology, I mean, this technique is used to generate optimal route for collecting solid water, I mean, solid waste. Then creating waste to energy solutions that convert debris into usable resources. So, as future engineers, it's not about rebuilding the bridge or road. Yes, your responsibility is very different. Apart from that, it is also about building system that help clean up smartly and sustainably, that reduce long term environmental impact and protect public health. That is also your responsibility. The waste management after a disaster is not just a civic task. It is on engineering challenge and the opportunity to innovate. Then what are the classification of disaster generated waste? When disaster hit, the type of waste they generate is not just large in volume. It is also highly diverse and often mixed together, making it harder to handle for effective and sustainable waste management. It's important to characterize this waste because each type needs a different disposal or recycling strategy. The first one is constructive and demolition rubrics. That is, this include concrete, bricks, some woods, roofing materials, steel, and gases. Some glasses also. Typically result from collapsed buildings, damaged roads, or destroyed infrastructure. So, can be reused or crushed for use in road base or temporary shutter. Then, second one is green waste. That include fallen trees, then some branches of trees, leaves, and other organic matter common after cyclone or landslides, can be composed or used for bioenergy protections. Then electronic and household waste also, including damaged appliance, even televisions, fridge, then phone, batteries, etc. So often mixed with hazards materials like lead, mercury, or lithium. So it's required a careful collection and proper e-waste processing facility should be ensured here. Another thing, the fourth one is hazardous materials, including chemical container, paint, even that medical waste, and even
Ma'am,
yes.
your image is hiding the last point, ma'am. Can you move to the right side, ma'am? Your image.
Sorry. The next previous slide, you are asking like that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, tell me, please. Tell me, Saran, what is your doubt here?
It is not doubt, ma'am. Your image is hiding the screen saver, ma'am. The last point is hiding your image, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Can you stop sharing then to select that full screen option of screen?
Yes, ma'am.
One second. One second. screen should be shared. Now it's okay?
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Now okay,
comfortable?
ma'am. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
It is comfortable. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Please welcome. Yes. The fourth one is hazardous materials. It's including some chemical containers, medical waste, even some asbestos also. So the possess direct health and environmental threats. Yes, the environmental threats if not handled correctly. So must be isolated, labeled and sent to specialized treatment plant. So last one is sewage and sludge. That is comes from overflowing drains, especially septic tanks and damaged sewage lines. Maybe it's often mixed with flood waters, leading to contamination. So can spread diseases like cholera, then some uh, the hepatics, if not properly treated, lot of diseases also spread. So as a engineers, understanding these categories helps us design specific collections, that is segregations and treatment systems after a disaster. It also help prioritize which type of waste need to be handled first for public safety and environmental protections. The first we want to be understand what type of waste is there, how we can properly to destroy. Okay, that is your most responsibility. Yes. Next, engineering for sustainability. In the after the math of natural disaster, waste management must go beyond. It's simply cleaning the mess. The goal should be sustainable recovery to reduce long-term environmental damage and extract value from what seems like waste. This is where engineering for sustainability comes here. The first one is 3R, that is reduce, reuse and recycle. You know that reduce design system to minimize the amount of waste generated even during recovery. Then reuse, salvage usable materials like wood, bricks, metal and furnitures. Recycling, separate recycle materials like plastic, glass and metals. Likewise, then segregation at source, sorting waste on site at the point of generations, avoid mixing hazards and recyclable materials. It's enable faster and safer disposable and treatment. Can be aided by color coded bins, training or even sensor based systems. Third, the composting and biogas from organic waste. Organic waste from trees, food, and vegetations can be composed to create natural fertilizer, converted into biogas for clean energy. So the simple engineering solution like drum composter or a small biogas unit can be deployed even in relief camps. Then material and energy recovery. Engineers can design system that extract value from waste. Concrete can be crushed for road base. Then plastic can be melted into building blocks. Waste to energy plant convert waste into electricity or fuel. Likewise, Then circular economy principles. Think beyond use and throw. Yes, aim for a loop systems. Material from debris become input for reconstructions, then minimize new resource extractions, then design for reusability and resilience. Uh, so sustainability in disaster waste management is not a luxury, it's a necessary. That is you want to be understand. As engineer, you have the tool to turn uh, crisis into opportunity by designing low cost, low impact, especially high efficiency solutions that not only clean up but build some back better. Yes, then engineering response strategies. You know, in a disaster situations, the speed and efficiency of waste management determine how quickly a community can recover. Yes, the engineers can offer both technical tool and smart systems that allow for quick actions, minimal environmental impact, and also effective use of resources. Let's go through some key engineering strategy here that are already making a difference. The first one is temporary waste processing unit. You know, these are modular, quick setup facilities designed to process or short waste right in the affected area. So help prevent long transport delays and support local recycling reuse method. Can be installed near relief camps, damaged towns or remote villages. Second, that mobile incinerators and compactors, you know that these are drugs mounted or tailored based machines. The mobile incinerators burns hazards or medical waste safety. The mobile compactor reduce the waste volume for easier transport. So the useful in area with blocked road or no permanent disposal facilities. We can use this, we can use this solution. Yes, then third one is the waste to energy technologies. These convert waste into electricity, gas or fuel. So the best suited for mixed waste or organic rich debris. So helps reduce landfill burden while powering relief operations. The fourth one is smart waste bins and sensor networks. These are IoT enabled bins that monitor fill levels, waste type, and send alert for pickup. So enable optimized waste collections and reduce overflow during the chaotic conditions. So it's help prioritized area in urgent need of cleanup. Then last one is GIS and drone based waste mapping. You know that the geographic information system helps in mapping the spread, type and sensitive of waste. The drone, they provide that aerial footage to locate inaccessible or hazardous waste zones. So it's enable faster planning and deployment of resources. So these are the engineering strategies are not futuristics. It is they are practical, deployable and often life savings also. So as engineers, you can be part of the team that design, deploys and improve these technologies in real world disaster situations. I'm just
Ma'am,
to
total,
giving their next. Yes, sir.
ma'am, a smart waste bin, how it is working, ma'am, sensor and network. Do you have
Yeah,
any picture? Do you
sorry.
have any pictures, ma'am? Can you share it? Do you have any smart dustbin pictures, ma'am? Can you share it, ma'am, please?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I'm just to sharing to Aditya. Aditya share to you. Not even that pic, even that
Okay, ma'am.
video.
Thank you.
I'm having their videos also. How to they work? Yes, I'm just to sharing their short videos also.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, please welcome. Another thing is that waste bins now it's IoT enabled now. Normally, not only in foreign countries, even India also, even the many developing countries also using their smart waste bins. Okay, it's normally even many of the government also just to be using that smart waste bins for in their municipal systems. I just sharing their videos after the class over. Okay. The next one is learning. Here I'm just to giving some real world example. Yes, how the engineers it's planned during their time of situations. What is that impact? I mean, the key learning from that situation also. Just we have seen here. Yes, the first one is that Japan post tsunami waste sorting system. It was happened that 2011. Yes, the Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami generated nearly 25 million tons of waste generated. So the Japan deployed temporary sorting stations with automated and manual system to segregate wood, metal, plastic, and hazardous materials also. So over 70% of the waste was either recycled or reused. Here, the engineers also designed modular waste facilities that could be relocated based on the need. Here, the key learning from this case na, that is advanced planning and strong engineering systems. Yes, it's enabled Japan to turn disaster debrics into resources. If every section I'm just to giving some few case studies in real world case studies. If possible your time will permit, I'm just to giving very short here. Yes, but you are going to search for that cases now in that at least the problems what's happened in that situations, how the engineers faced. Here I'm just giving some hint. That's it. But your time will permit you learn. You just to be referred in elaborate. It's helpful for you for more understanding. Okay. Then is Haiti. It is a Caribbean country. It's one of the Caribbean country. It's emerging incinerations. Post earthquake, it was happened in 2010. The earthquake led to large scale displacement and overburned temporary hospital. So the engineers deployed mobile incinerators to burn infectious medical waste, safety, preventing outbreaks also. So the lack of infrastructures was partially addressed by importing modular incinerations unit from aid organizations. So in this case, we learning is rapid deployment of mobile technologies can help manage high risk waste in area without existing infrastructure. Then Next, the Kerala incident, the community-based composting after flood. You know that it was happened the 2018, the flood generated large volume of organic and household waste, especially in rural areas. So the government and NGOs set up community composting unit using low cost pits and drum composters. So the college and engineering students, the college students, some of arts and science college and engineering students, volunteers in waste segregations and compost unit installations, they were involved. So it's reduced landfill dependency and empowered local communities. So low-tech community-driven solutions can be both scalable and sustainable in a post-disaster scenario. These are the key learning from this this incident. Then finally, you know that the Philippines, that is Typhoon deep bricks management zones. Yes, Gopal. Yes, the country face frequent typhoons and in many cases massive amount of tree debris, broken infrastructures, even the household waste or generator. So the government created debris management zone, that is designated open spaces where waste could be sorted, compacted, or composed. Here, the local engineers design temporary ramp, uh, fencing, and drainage to handle mixed waste. So, the key learned from this incident, pre-designed processing areas can make recovery faster and reduce health risk. So when disaster are predictable or seasonal. So here, what I'm just going to say the final message of this real world example is these case studies show that good waste management after disaster is not just about technology. It is about planning, then community participation and strong engineering leadership. The three factors mainly help them for quick recovery. Yes, so the even every disaster teaches something. Yes, as future engineers, your job is to learn, adapt, improve system for the future. Then what is your exact role on engineers in the disaster management? Until now, we have discussed what's happened during the disaster, the type of waste generated and global strategies used for managing that waste. But let bring it home, what can you do as engineer? Your role is not limited to designing buildings or machines. It's about solving problems that impact communities, especially during crisis. Develop low cost efficient system. That is major responsibility of any engineer. The disaster usually hit resource poor communities the hardest. So the engineers must develop affordable, scalable solution. The portable composting unit, low cost waste using recycling materials, then manual compactor. So maybe it's helpful for even not only to focus their high level technology, even that technology want to be used for helpful for our local community people and government. That focus you want to be make some role. Yes, that is your most responsibility here. Second one is design re-slice infrastructures. That is resilient. You know, that design waste system that can withstand a flood, then earthquake or cyclones. You know, that consider is elevated landfills or bins in flat, that is flats prone areas, then modular processing stations that can be dismantled or relocated area, then drainage systems that resist glodging from debris, then innovative in material and process technology also. Explore eco-friendly material for rebuilding. Yes, the innovative in process engineering, quicker composing, cleaner incinerations, and better segregation systems. Use here, you can use AI, IoT, and robotics to handle large scale waste sorting and monitoring. Then lead community awareness and training. The technology alone is not enough. You need people to use it correctly. Yes, the proper utilization of human resources most important. So the engineers must also educate communities on safe disposal, train sanitations workers and volunteers, then collaborate with NGOs and panchayat in rural areas. So you are not just builder of structures, you are the builders of resilient system. The next time the disaster strikes, let's your solution be ready, cost effective, smart, and sustainable. So the engineering is not just about efficiency, it is also about empathy also. The guidelines and support systems. Effective disaster waste management does not rely on engineering alone. It is also needs to follow legal, policy, and global framework to ensure safety, sustainability, and accountability. As engineer, you need to understand not only the how but also the who and what rules under. Yes, let's explore some of the key guidelines and system in place. The first one is India Solid Waste Management Rules 2016, a cornerstone regulations under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. You know, the key provision of this act is segregation at source, maybe dry, wet, hazards, then mandatory composting and recycling. In this act, ensure that mandatory composting and recycling. Then also extended producer responsibility, that is EPR, extended producer responsibility for plastic and e-waste. Then while not specific to disaster, these rules from the baseline for all waste handling activities. So this waste management rule is most helpful for engineers to follow that, especially for forest and climate change. Yes, Ministry of Environment ensure that. The next one is NDMA guidelines for disaster recovery. That is the National Disaster Management Authority. Yes, the National Disaster Management Authority. It's outline waste disposal protocols during and after disaster. The focus area include rapid waste cleanness for reuse route, then safe handling of biomedical and hazardous waste, then temporary waste holding zones and mobile units, the NDMA, yes, that is National Disaster Management Authority, right? The NDMA encourage coordination between engineers, local bodies, and especially for waste handlers also. That it is like the NDMA just giving their guidelines. It's just like a SOP, standard operating procedures, how we can clearance of wastage and reuse properly. Yes, that guidelines given to the National Disaster Management Authority. Then UNDRR and UNEP protocols, that is United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction. Yes, that is that expansion of UNDRR, United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, and UNEP, that is United Nations Environmental Program. So the set national standards for these are the international standard protocols. The environmentally sound disaster response, then the waste audit impact assessment. These protocols mainly ensure that the waste audit and impact assessment procedures, then sustainable reconsideration using recycled materials, then useful when working in international collaborations, NGOs, or multi-agency relief effort. Then what is the role of local municipalities and civil engineers? The municipal bodies are responsible for waste logistics, public health, and temporary storage. Civil engineer assists in site planning for waste dump, then road cleaning and drainage repairs, then supervisory temporary treatment facility setups. So the engineer often work alongside municipal staff, NGOs, and public health officials also. So the following these guidelines ensure that your actions, the engineers' actions are not only effective but also legally sound, right? The environmentally responsible and community focused. So knowing the rules is just as important as knowing the protocol. So the basic engineers, at least you want to understand that guidelines, what's normally the government take place. Yes, at least the basic things want to be understand, then only you just to be go for your work in a systematic manner. That is the meaning of this. Yes, you are a little bit sound knowledge in legally, or the legal action also, right? Then engineers a better preferred future. Yes, definitely it's your hands
Hello?
only. We have
Yeah, good evening.
talked about the challenges,
Nice job.
solutions. Yes, Abdul. Yes, that lot of challenges, solutions, and the frameworks, but how do you, as student and future engineers, begin to contribute? The answer lies in being proactive now, so you are preferred when a real world example arises. Let's look at how you can start preparing for the future right for your campus. First, you conduct campus-based waste audit. Begin by understanding your own environment. How much waste does your campus produce daily? Yes, how much, what portion is recyclable, then compostable or hazardous. Use tool like wedging, then segregations and waste mapping to document and findings. So this steps it's helpful for understanding about at least the base level. This can become a mini disaster simulations, right? What if a flood struck your campus tomorrow? Yes, just to think and work out. Second one is develop prototype for disaster waste recovery. Turn class project and hackathons into real world applications. Idea include low cost debris sorters, then mobile compost unit, then smart bin sensors, then portable incinerators for emergency sites. Then even simple model demonstrations can help train others, right? So please try it. And third one is collaborate with civic bodies and NGOs. You know that the classroom management compare the volunteers and even management to learn lot of things, right? So the classroom management only to help you to learn about uh, what is uh, the content, how the content will handle. But if you go for touch with some public people, volunteers, and you are participated in real world event management, then only you get the practical exposure. Yes, so that is application based educations. It's always helpful for you to train, to motivate you to involve the real world insights, right? So the partners with your local municipality, disaster management office or environmental NGOs, the volunteer for cleanup drives, waste surveys or awareness campaign. The engineer can offer design input, data analysis, or logistic support. So the incorporate disaster waste topics in curriculum. The request your department to include models or electives on the environmental engineering in disasters, sustainable urban recovery, smart waste systems. Use your final year project to explore disaster tech solutions. In every engineering students, you having their final project for your final years, right? Many of the students get that opportunity in the intern also. If lot of in the during the time of intern or during the time of projects, you are also just to be learn some short certificate courses regarding their this much of things, disaster management. Yes, some lot of courses are available, even SWAYAM and NPTEL. In the only the examination, the fees is, the registration fees is free. Only for the examination fees, hardly you will spend 800 to 900 rupees. That's it. Yes, but that things, it's more helpful for you for understanding their basic concept of that things. So the preparing for the future does not require the disaster to strike. It is starts with curiosity. the collaboration and the commitment today. So you can be engineers, you are not only technically brilliant, but also socially responsible and future ready. That is most important. Finally, we have reached the final part of today's sessions. I want to leave you with a simple but powerful thought. The disaster recovery starts with waste recovery. Engineers must lead the way. It's not just a quote, right? It's not a quote. It is a call to action. Why waste recovery matters? Because the waste affect health, water, air, land, especially people. So because it is the first step in beginning normally back after a disaster. So, and because the engineers have the tool, knowledge and system thinking to solve complex problems that others may find overwhelming. Yes, what leadership looks like for engineers. Leadership does not away mean authority. It means taking initiatives. It's being the person who asks what can be, what can we salvage? What can we design better? How can we make recovery faster? So it means collaborating across discipline, listening to communities and designing not just for functionally, but for resilience, right? So as future engineers, you are not just building the machines or bridges, right? You are building the system to keep society running even after the worst days. So whether you become a civil engineer or environmental innovator or tech creator, whatever may be, remember that your ideas, prototypes and actions can literally help rebuild lives. That is most important. Do you have any doubts, please? Or if you want to ask any expectation from my side, please tell me. I'm very happy today Saran to posted 2 to 3 questions. At least I'm expecting all the students little bit active. Yes, I know you are all are active because basically engineers every times 24/7 or active manner. I know that, but in due to the classes na little bit take some rest. Yes, peacefully to watch. Yes, but in the classes also the curiosity to ask the questions, that is to create that teachers to induce them for make better materials, better content to the next classes, right? Yes. Do you have any doubts or any expectations? Please share
Yes,
with
ma'am. Good
me.
evening, ma'am.
Yes, Charles, tell me.
Ma'am, please can you explain this GIS and drone-based waste mapping one more time, please?
Yeah, GIS, that is Geographic Information System. It's helpful for solid waste management system. Yes, it is one of the technology. This GIS helpful for recovery for to clearing the waste management. Waste for a quick manner. Yes, the GIS, it's one of the technology also. That technologies it's connected with uh, GCS part, right? So it's automatically indicate us the municipal systems or local bodies or NGOs those who are connecting GIS automatically giving some alarms where the wastage is having. Yes, how we can go for clear. Yes, how many times, how long time it will take. Even it calculating some traffic timing also. That is GIS. Many of the local municipal system using their GIS system at present to clearing their wastage in a faster manner.
This just general waste or specific waste?
Specific waste means it's we connect with GDS. Yes, that is it's connected with not only, for example, after not only we are not using there after disaster, even the rotation basis, even daily basis also we can using their GIS. That is municipal corporation. They are using their clean environment basis. They are using that GIS system. The way is the GIS connect with GPS system. So automatically the GPS system to find out where the wastage is having. Yes, how we can go for clearance. All the things should be, it is one of the small technology only, but that technology helpful for entire municipal to clean environment. Even that underdeveloped countries also using their GIS.
Okay, so like for example, the waste we are generating in our residential areas, like we have some team, they have a schedule like 2 times a day, they pass by to clear the waste. So they can use a system like that.
Yeah, of course. Definitely. Another thing is, that in this way, the disaster management, today I'm just to taking all the concept, especially for society basis. I'm not to included anything in the specific industry basis. Okay. That industry also having the natural disaster not only happen in the society, even some of the leading companies also facing some natural disaster. But I'm not taking anything here in the part of my teaching note. I'm not including in the part of any one companies, because I'm taking in today's sections only for the societal part. Yes, societal concern only. But if you go for a company, any one company related concern, they are using their lot of technologies using for clearance of the wastage. Yes, the waste management system, they are using different companies using different technologies. Yes, but basically that the GIS advanced lot of technology is there. But the Tesla, the Apple, so lot of companies using some different technologies. Yes, based on their cost. But the society, the government undertaking, they want to spend much more amount, right? Then only another thing is, if any natural disaster, even tsunami, even floods, some of the things now, so automatically the government also expecting their help from NGOs, volunteers. So the volunteers can help them for more economical, not they want to spend more much amount, right? So that's why today I'm explaining all the things for the very basic level. The engineers, yes, the students level, that engineering faculties level, what are the techniques basically to find that technology only I'm just to be highlighted here. But if you go for referred any companies like Tesla, leading companies like Tesla, especially for some manufacturing companies, yes, Hyundai, like that, if you go and search it for what technologies they are basically used in the waste management system, the clearance of waste management system, they are giving some lot of they are using lot of technologies. But those technologies is maximum, it's focused on high cost. even lot of IoT, you know that some sensors it's related to IoT, some sensors is connected with robotics, but the cost is very high. But in natural disaster happen in that affected in that society basis na, so we can't use we can't to spend much amount, even the government also not to spend such a amount. That is the matter here. So the here we are expecting the engineers brain is concerned. Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Yes, another thing is, you know, that the circular economy, I'm just to highlighted in the during the class time, I'm just to highlighted one word, that circular economy. You know that but the circular economy first previously, you know that use and throw concept, but normally we just be cut the use and throw concept. Normally, how much time we can possible to utilize the product, then finally we want to be recycling. That is also most important. That is also the capacity of engineers thinking, right? So another thing is, whatever may be the innovations initiatives not to depends upon their cost. The innovations initiatives depends upon their brain. So every
Okay, ma'am.
technologies we are expecting from engineer sides. We are not the engineers. We are from management background people. We are because I'm having their knowledge to leading their engineers. That's it. But the engineers only knowing about how they are finding their good technology, good techniques in the least cost. That's it. Thank you, Charles.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, please welcome. Any others? I hope
What
that.
is the
Yes, Saran.
IoT, ma'am? IoT observation, ma'am. IoT how it is working for India, ma'am? It is working
Internet
for.
of Things.
Okay,
IoT,
okay.
Internet of Things.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, ma'am.
yeah,
Ah,
IoT. Yes,
okay,
Internet
okay,
of
ma'am.
Things. Yes, yes.
Is there any rules of international base for national disaster management? For India only, it is applicable for the national disaster management, ma'am.
It's not like that.
Every place, I think.
Actually, Indian government having one national disaster management authority, but in worldwide also having different names. They are using some guidelines, maintaining some authorities. Okay. But here I'm just to giving the National Disaster Management Authority. It is guidelines created by Indian government. It's
Okay.
giving their outline of disposable protocols. They explaining some guidelines, protocols during after disaster times. It's helpful for engineers. Even that protocol also, the engineering team only just to be made before, but it's fine now. So automatically the authority to manage one authority to make some protocols to give that guidelines to the upcoming engineers. But different company countries having their different guidelines. Even you know that best in Singapore, it's a best country to maintain their good disaster management systems. Even the government also makes some lot of effective, you know, the main clean cities, because of they are maintaining their good waste management systems. But that is also one thing, that is developed countries, that region area is very small. But if China, you know that China also, we can't say like that. It's a China, it's a biggest country now, so the region also high. That so the waste management, to compare the Singapore, China, it's least management system only, waste least management waste system only should be followed. Even US also, we can't say like that it's a good management systems. Even Japan and Singapore is leading to compare the other countries. It's they are having their good waste management system should be followed.
Okay.
Okay, Charan. Anything else?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
Ma'am, this smart bins, they also contain
Thank you.
Internet of
Yes, Charles, smart bin.
yeah, the smart bins, they also contain Internet of Things sensors in them, or they are just program, or just use only data analysis.
I can't understand your
No, I'm
answer.
asking if the smart bins they contain Internet of Things sensors.
Actually, these are IoT enabled bins. Okay, that monitor fill levels, waste type, and also send alert for pickup. That is the main features of smart waste bins, and also enabled inbuilt with sensor network. You know that it's a smart bin enable optimized waste collection and also reduce the workflow during chaotic conditions. You know that the health priorities areas, which one is most urgent? For example, the waste. Yes, the waste having, for example, sewage. It's happening in the near school. Okay, another thing is the sewage happening in the one the people who are living in the main city. Okay, but if compare the two areas, yes, which one is most important? Because sewage we want to be clear immediately, right? Otherwise immediately to get some disease. So automatically, to compare the two things, the school students, that mainly the school areas, the students having under the age of 50, so their immunity power is less to compare the village people. So automatically this smart bin system to giving their alert for first the GPS system just to be highlighted that area of schooling, then only just to be highlighted the track of next region. That is it's just for example only, which one is most important. That is that work of smart bins. Here you know that the IT, that is the work of IoT, Internet of Things. The enable bins that monitor, yes, it's supervising, yes, then what level they fill, yes, that is also most important. Yes, level, then waste type, automatically to segregate the waste type, even to cleaning timing also. Yes, they first to clean, then to dividing their segregation. It's not like that. Even that cleaning time also they are segregating. Another thing is the filled level also should be indicating. Okay, this is that smart bin work. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, please welcome. Okay, do you have any doubts? Please share
Thank
with me.
you.
Otherwise, to lead the session.